What's up? What's up?
College football enthusiast is the best way I can describe this guy. He brings it to the table better than anybody I've ever known when it comes to football knowledge. So that's a different program. The knowledge you have about the game of sports, the game of football, and not just football, just sports itself. You have a lot of knowledge, and you have joined me on a few of my probably 3 college football shows, I do believe. We've done a college football preview show and probably 2 NFL preview shows as well. But the draft is a big thing, and I know what the state of the mind with everything that's going on right now. Everything is at a halt, at a standstill. To the football fan and to the sports guy, no, we're not standing nowhere. We're still talking about the game. So with the draft coming up tomorrow, I'm quite sure you got some insights, my man. Hot Tub Dave, tell the people about yourself.
Man, I tell you what, the draft is probably one of my favorite parts of the NFL, other than when they get down and start playing. The draft is one of my favorite nights. It's, again, I'm such a huge college football fan, so I watch all these guys that I saw coming out of high school. They chose between Georgia and Florida, or Colorado and Stanford, and their college season or their college careers went to fruition, and here they are. They developed, and now they're a first-round draft pick, and they're just, I don't know. They just the pomp and circumstance that goes with it. Being down there last year, 700,000 people they estimated down there in Nashville. I mean, and this year in Vegas, I guarantee you they'd have had 1 million people if this wasn't going on. I mean, the draft was supposed to be in Vegas here tomorrow night, and I mean, I'm not sure. I wouldn't have ran out there, hop on a Frontier flight for $79.
Yeah, I actually was going to go. The old lady and I had plans. I was going to Vegas. This would have been my first NFL draft. Ever.
Well, I'll tell you what, my first one was 5 years ago in Chicago, the first year they made it remote outside of New York. And it was the year Jameis got drafted.
Look at you.
Well, then the week before they drafted, he wanted to stay home with his grandma, and he wasn't going to the draft. And so I bailed on my plans because Chicago, obviously, I was driving, not flying, and didn't need, So I did not make it. That was the first one I intended to go to, and then I think they've had it in Philly. Again, last year was in Nashville, and I can't think of the other place they had it. But, the draft is, I love the draft.
Me too. I think the draft should travel to every city. It should be like a college experience. Everybody should get a chance to experience watching these guys' dreams come true.
Right.
For your home, rooting for your team, and you in a town where nobody ever thought the NFL draft would be held at. I think that's cool as hell. I had an opportunity when I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, my early days of radio.
North Cackalack.
There it is, 704 in the building.
All right.
I went to an NFL draft party. I don't want to say the player's name because not my issue. But it didn't turn out the way he wanted it to, but it was still a great event to go to, because you just don't know your stock value when it comes to the draft committee, the selection committee.
Right. Well, those guys, to get to that level, their mentality is that there is nobody better than they are. And that's the only way you become a first-round draft pick or an NFL draft pick is because you've been told all your life, oh, you're not this guy. You've been compared to this guy. You're not as good as that guy. But at the same time is to get to that level, you've got to have that mentality. That's why there's guys out there, all these stories coming out with, the Last Dance. And I don't want to get off on that, but like these guys that thought they were as good as Jordan, it's because they legitimately thought they were as good as Jordan. That's why they got to that level.
I don't want to get into it either. No, but how do you feel about The Last Dance? So far, first 2 episodes.
Oh, don't give me stuff. Chills, the whole thing. Chills, tears, all of it. Love it.
Gotcha.
Moving on. We're going to be here for
the true competitive nature of the game of basketball at a time where everybody was really, really appreciating the game. And it was called at a different caliber. Like right now, people are probably seeing this the first time saying like, wow, I never knew this. I never knew that. Find out the different parts. Oh, the deeper it gets, they really going to be wild. Like Jordan said, when this is over with, maybe they won't look at me the same way. Well, maybe you won't look at your uncle, your daddy, or your mama the same way because they had some Jordans back in the day and the way they were affected by it.
Well, come on. So no, I love the draft. I love it's one of my favorite nights of the year. And I mean, I settle in. I mean, I cook up something good. That's the deal.
All right.
So,
Speaking of cooking up something good, before we get into the spotlight segment, you are a food dude. You have been bringing it to the people with food techniques, trying different things. Is there something you've been working secretly?
Yeah. My latest
behind the scenes that you want to kind of like show to people sometime coming up soon here?
Oh, we could do a cooking episode. There's no doubt. I mean, I got a gallery. We could just go food. But no. You know what? Next time, let's prepare. I could prepare like 3 or 4 dishes and bring them out. If I'd have known. But no, the latest thing I'm on is reverse sear on these steaks. You can Google it, YouTube it. It's called reverse sear.
Reverse sear.
Yes.
Check that out.
Basically, you throw it on the grill or the oven at 225 degrees for about an hour and a half. Your big steaks, 3/4 inch thick. And then when you're ready to eat, you throw that thing either in the frying pan and with butter or oil or whatever, or hot, or get the grill fired up to 500-600 degrees, 2-3 minutes each side. And I'm gonna tell you what, if it's a perfect medium rare, and whoop, up until I learned about the reverse sear, I was straight up hot as I can get it, and just good luck. This reverse sear, man, I'm telling you, it's the real deal. That's my latest race. Come on, these people want to hear some draft stuff.
Let's go. So here we go with my man, Hot Tub Dave.
Let's go.
My local version.
Hey, are you still good on Facebook? I got people texting me saying it cut off. You good on Facebook?
Yeah, what I like to, I'm going back on that right now.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
And with the draft coming up,
yes, sir.
All opinions on each and every side of everything, how this is going, you being the guy you are, the team that you root for, knowing what you know. First 10 picks in the draft. This how this board is going off.
Well, first off, my team don't pick in the first 10 picks.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know that. That's why I want you to know right now. In the top 10, that's what we got right now. In the top 10, that's what we got. We got the Bengals, the Redskins,
Lions,
Giants, Miami, Chargers, the Panthers, Arizona, Jacksonville, and the Browns.
Okay.
Who do you see having the biggest advantage, knowing on what you know, based upon what the offense did, the defense did, the special teams, and what they lost?
I mean, again, I think that there's 2 things to point out. Is I think there are going to be at least 3 trades in the top 10 of this draft. I think there are a lot of teams trying to maneuver. There's guys they like. And the only thing I think that is certain is the first 2 picks in the draft. And so that's to answer your question. I think the Redskins are in the best position, and here's why. They're going to get the best player in the draft, period. Chase Young. Oh my goodness, this guy. Chase Young is the safest pick I've seen in 10 years. This guy.
That's deep.
Oh, it is deep. I'm telling you, he's the safest pick I've seen since Calvin Johnson, if that's where you want to go with it. That's how I feel about it. Yes. And let me tell you, Calvin Johnson was 1 pick away from being a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. So let's go. Joe Thomas, Calvin Johnson. God rest his soul. He's dead right now. But yes.
It was a different caliber of an athlete back then. He definitely was. Definitely was. For sure. But outside of that, what is the other obvious pick you think could be coming along? Are you there? No way. Are you there? Yeah, there we go. Are you there?
You can hear me, right?
There you go. All
Okay.
right.
I was just getting messages that we're not on Facebook Live anymore, so I don't know.
Huh.
But
All right.
either way,
Honey, could you plug this phone up for me real quick? Sorry about that, but it's on YouTube.
okay, all right, we good.
The money, so I don't know why they keep on.
So again, I think Chase Young, the Redskins, I think, are in a very good position. And again, I think they are missing the boat if they want to go with Dwayne Haskins. But if they get Chase Young, they've got a solid, I mean, a game changer on the defensive line. And let's not forget, there are two exceptional quarterbacks out there on the market if they really want to make a run.
But out of the first 10 picks, quarterback wise,
okay,
impactful quarterback right now, who do you see coming in helping any of these teams? When it comes to a quarterback, you know, you got Cincinnati. There's questions and concerns.
Cincinnati's going to take Joe Burrow. Okay, unless something crazy happens and they trade out of, they're going to take Joe Burrow. And I love Burrow. I think he's going to be great. I think where the mystery of tomorrow night comes in is Herbert and Tua. Okay, I think Tua has the biggest upside. Matter of fact, I think he has more upside than Joe Burrow. However, you've got the injury factor. This kid is missed with an ankle. Now he's got this hip surgery that, you know, eventually retired Bo Jackson. He's recovered. He looks fine. However, I don't know. Did you see his pro day that he put out or his workout?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. What'd you think?
It was subpar. I wouldn't have done it by myself. Because you expose things, you raise questions on things like that when you do stuff like that coming back off of an injury. Because they want to see what you can do. You know?
I think what's happened is a lot of teams are scared. And so I've heard the Dolphins are not as sold as they were. I mean, it was Tua all year long. I mean, this kid has been one of the most hyped college quarterbacks to come out in a long time. But I really, honestly, if I had to make a wager as far as an even money wager, I honestly think Justin Herbert goes before Tua, and I think it'll be a mistake.
That's a good call. That's a decent.
And if I can double down or get a bonus bet on it, I think a team trades up and gets Herbert before Tua.
Well, considering what happened with Tampa Bay and Gronk and Brady, there's already been a shift in the front office with the draft concerns in the top 10 when it comes to me. Because I think the focus position to me is the offensive line. To me.
Correct. Absolutely.
Here's the thing. You do need a receiver to stretch the field. You do need somebody like that. There's no Patrick Mahomes. There's no Lamar Jackson in this draft. There's no Emmitt Smith in this draft. These are buildable players that are in this draft. These are guys you can build on. You can build on this talent that you get. That's not if I'm a Mel Kiper type of guy or a theme guy, this is a buildable draft.
You're talking for Tampa?
No, for anybody. There's nobody that's coming out right now that you can say right now for sure, this guy is going to be that deal. There's not one guy. Chase Young, he can make some noise.
Oh, no.
But for as being that dude.
Hey, let me go out on a limb. Let me be exposed right here.
That's what I want to hear.
You ready? He's Reggie White.
What the fuck?
I said he's Reggie White.
Reggie White from Memphis that played with the Eagles?
Well, Reggie White went to Tennessee, but yes.
Yeah. That Reggie White?
That's correct.
The minister of
defense.
This is comparison to him.
That's exactly right.
Oh, them big cojones, bro. I ain't heard that. I have not heard that comparison.
And I put them on the table. Yes.
Where this table at? I got to get room at this table that you speak of.
Reggie White.
That's some big shit.
I'm telling you, the best prospect in 10 years.
No shit.
That's how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong.
I respect your knowledge.
Maybe y'all can laugh at me.
I respect your knowledge right there.
I'm just telling you. Best prospect.
He reminds me of Javon Curse. He reminds me
He
of a
would
little
remind
bit
him
of
of Javon Curse. Trust me. I saw Javon Curse for 3 years in a
so
row,
did
and
I.
that sorry ass Holden. Yeah,
Whoa,
don't get me
shots
started
fired.
on 90. Come on now. You know I was down in the swamp and saw that. Come on, Trey.
You know,
All day.
you know I'm with them Gators. Come on now.
So you would bring up him. I'm gonna tell
I'm
you
just
what.
talking about comparison. Comparison
no.
wise, his build, when you look at him, who does he remind you? Yeah.
I hate to say it, Clowney, but Clowney sucks.
But see, that's too new, old school. And Clowney, what if Clowney ends up with Tampa Bay?
You want to know who?
where you gonna put him
Body
in?
wise, Julius Peppers.
Whoa,
Basketball body.
see, that's
Basketball body, dude.
that reel I'm reaching for right there.
All
See,
right.
reel that on in right there from
Here's the
North
difference.
Carolina. Huh?
So here's the difference. Here's the difference is that body wise, athletic wise, he does remind me of Julius Peppers. The difference is Peppers, when he came out, there was a knock on him that he didn't have the motor, right? And that was the knock.
Yeah, trust me.
And here we are, 160 sacks later, and the guy's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. So that clearly wasn't an issue. But
he was the Rasheed Wallace of football.
Yeah, except one of them's gonna be in the Hall of Fame, one of them's not.
You don't think Peppers going to Hall of Fame?
No, Julius Peppers is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
You don't think Rasheed Wallace going to Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame of what? Hall of Fame of good-looking hair. That's about it.
Hey, you know why I like him? He married a woman with a kid when he was in college. Who does that? Who does that?
Albert Pujols.
Who do you know that marries a woman with a kid?
Albert Pujols.
Well, that was different. She pimped him. She pimped him out. He was 17. Deidre pimped him out in that damn Kansas City.
I'm telling you, the Julius Peppers, that's the thing, is he does remind me of Julius Peppers. Peppers had a knock coming out of college. That's why he fell the way he did. And here we are 160 sacks later, and the guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Chase Young doesn't have that knock. That's what I'm getting at. This dude missed 2 games and had 17 sacks and 26 tackles for loss.
But there's something going on with it. There's something different. There's something going on up here with him. There's something going on. I don't know what it is.
What do you mean?
There's something happened off the field that's not right with everybody. I'm worried about that thing. I'm worried about that coming back up.
Have you heard any? I've not heard a single issue. What is it?
You trying to tell me you think Chase Young went through college with no problems? Have you seen that boy?
Well, what do you mean?
I'm saying he got in trouble last year, but nobody said why.
Yes, it was like an autograph thing. It was like Todd Gurley. I mean, who cares? These kids these days get screwed.
I want to know the backstory, Dave. See, when you go to a country concert and you yell out "nigger," I want to know why.
I don't. I'm not Riley Cooper.
Right. I want to know why did that happen, Riley Cooper? Why? There was nobody around. Why did that come?
Who knows? Where did Riley Cooper go? He went to Florida. See, that's why.
He went to Texas, didn't he?
No, he did. No, he's a Florida Gator. You ought to know better.
Fuck, he needs to leave me. He needs to get out of my
right. See?
Schools and technology.
I got a couple jerseys upstairs you can wear. No, I'm telling you right now. I'm all in on Chase Young. We need to get off of him because I'm sure anybody's listening is bored as hell by now.
So who else is your outside of the parameters that nobody was thinking about?
The thing that really stands out to me this year is I honestly think in the first 12 picks there will be 4 offensive linemen taken, which is highly unusual. And as a Buccaneers fan, we're sitting here at 14, and we need an offensive lineman. I fully expect the Bucs to trade up, unless some things goofy happen in the top 5 or 6 picks. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense.
All right.
I believe in the offensive lineman production right now.
And again, there's 4 of them, I think, honestly, they're going to go in the top 12. There is one that can drop, and he's number 1 on my board as far as offensive linemen go. He's out of Louisville, 6'7", 364 pounds. God.
God.
Oh, my God.
That's
But
a storm coming.
6'7", 364. My goodness, I got a Frigidaire right over there. That's
Feed him. Shit.
right. You're going all in. You're bringing in Gronk. You're bringing in those guys. But and again, without this drug thing that popped up in the last 2 weeks, he's a top 5 pick. But with that, I mean, as if I can rub on a genie lamp and think something's going to happen, is that he falls to 14 because of a la Warren Sapp should have been the number 1 overall pick overall. Failed a drug test, and here go the Bucks.
That's his coach. That's Dennis Erickson's fault. He leaked information. Remember that?
Well, is it because he left early, or
he leaked information about a failed drug test or something like that. Remember Warren cussed him out?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a crazy ordeal right there when it came.
I'm not the biggest Warren Sapp fan, but either way.
What did he do to you? Oh, that's right. He went to the U.
Yeah.
You have that hatred. If you just turned it, it's my man Hot Tub Dave.
He won a Super Bowl for me though.
He's a huge Florida State fan. Knows his sports, believes in sports, believes in his theory, not supportive. He's joined me on a few of my occasions on my college football show and my NFL show as well. And we're doing a little NFL preview on what we think could possibly happen tomorrow in the first ever virtual NFL draft coming to you from Vegas, as they call it, a place where nobody tells nothing. But tomorrow we're going to find out a whole lot of shit about our teams, your team, anybody else's team, for my man Hot Tub Dave, my local version of Mel Kiper Jr.
You want to break it down position by position? What do you want to do? Top 5
right
top
now,
10 comparisons? What do you got?
Give me your surprise running back right now. Who you got? Your surprise running back.
My sleeper?
Give me your sleeper running back for what team? Go.
Not in my top 5, right?
Not in your top 5.
Yeah,
your
all right.
Sleeper pick.
He's from Utah. Zach Moss. He's a pass catcher. He was injured in 2019. Sneaky quick. I just think he's a guy that's going to get picked up in the middle of the draft. I mean, no one's heard of him. That's fine. Zach Moss. I mean, I just think he'll be a James White type guy, that the Patriots have made.
Good call.
I'm just saying he's, he was injured last year. Had some great numbers in 2018. He's my sleeper pick. I mean, he's not a sexy pick. If you want my guy that I think is going to make some noise, it's got to be Cam Akers or Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. He's going to go in the 2nd or 3rd round. There's a lot of miles on the guy, but he's a super talent. And then Cam Akers may have run behind the worst offensive line in the history of college football. This guy was the number 1 player, the highest rated player to ever come out of Mississippi since Eli Manning. He was a quarterback who played running back. 5-star kid, went to Florida State. Somehow, I don't know how Willie Taggart got into campus, but he did.
Willie.
And did nothing but waste this kid's talent. I mean, again, the worst offensive line probably in college football. And this kid, again, he's going to be a steal. If he would have gone anywhere but Florida State over the last 3 years, he'd probably be a top 5 pick. Cam Akers, he's probably going to go early 2nd round. And again, there's a couple guys that are rated ahead of him. But I think if he gets in the right situation, he could probably be the blossom of the draft, without question.
All right. We already talked about the offensive line possibly being like one of the high-profile positions. Another spot, I'm thinking old school football. You're protecting the quarterback. You want to expand the running game and stretch the field. You got to go fullback and tight end, as the way the Saints kind of went that way, and Buffalo kind of went that way last year as well. You think more teams going to go toward the way of a tight end or a fullback with the upcoming draft?
No, I don't. And here's why. I think they want to. I just think that this is probably the most shallow draft as far as tight ends go. I mean, you saw 2 tight ends go in the 1st round last year. Hawkinson comes to mind with Detroit. But I think the highest rated tight end that I saw, there's a guy out of Washington. There's a guy out of Notre Dame. I don't think either one of them are first round talent. If they go in the 1st round, it's going to be a stretch. And I just think that I just don't think this is the year for it. I mean, there are years where there are tight ends that are 1st round talent. this year ain't it. And if I need a tight end to make my offense click, I'm going to free agency. I'm making a trade. I'm not going to the draft this year. That's just my opinion.
Got you. That's why I kind of think that the Saints, to me, have picked up something that nobody thought of. Look at what they did by with the yes.
Right.
Look at what they did and how they did it, and what other teams are picking up on, and what considering what happened in the past 48 hours with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now draft in tomorrow. What are people thinking? Did that shift things? I mean, where's the focus on it? Is it on the line? Is it on the outside? Is it the quarterback? We all know the running back does not matter. Talk to Ezekiel Elliott.
Right. Well, the thing is if you need a tight end, I would go to Tampa. They've got they just re-signed Cameron Brate to an extension, who is an absolute beast. 6'5", went to Harvard, great route runner. They also have OJ Howard, who's in the last year of his rookie contract. And I predict that OJ Howard, if he hasn't been traded in the last 30 minutes, will be traded in the next 48 hours. As a first-round pick out of Alabama, physical, absolute anomaly. I mean, he's a physical beast. And I expect him to be traded in the next 48 hours. They're not going to go into camp with Cameron Brate, just re-signed, Rob Gronkowski, and OJ Howard on the end of a rookie contract at the age of 25 or however old he is. And so if I'm needing a tight end, I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling Jason Licht, but in Tampa. So that's just my thoughts on it. But again, I don't believe in the tight ends in the draft. I mean, you can get one, that's fine, but
look at what the tight end has done for the Baltimore Ravens, what it has done for the 49ers, what it has done for the Kansas City Chiefs, what it's done for the Denver Broncos, the Colts, and teams that have won the Super Bowl.
And what they've done is they've all modeled. They've looked for guys who remind them of a certain gentleman who played in San Diego for about 10 years, Antonio Gates, who was a basketball player. Right. That's all they're doing is they're trying to find this Antonio Gates, right? And so go find a basketball player that has a physique, and that's the thing. I just think that
kind of like a Moneyball Billy Bean type thing. I mean, got to fill players to fill the numbers.
And to be honest, I went through all my lists today, and I forgot about tight ends until my buddy said, "Well, okay, who's your top tight end?" I'm like, "Shit, I didn't look." Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Tight end is key, man. Look at what San Fran did. Look how key that position is.
I went and looked at the top couple guys, and I watched film, and none of them jumped off the page. I'm sorry. I'm not taking a tight end this year. If I need a tight end, if I think I'm a tight end away from the playoffs, I'm going to free agency or a trade.
I need big hands, versatility, quick off the ball, and a big ass.
Wow,
that's what I'm looking for a tight end.
There's a kid at Notre Dame, Ent or whatever, Emmett, whatever his name is. He's fine, but I mean, it's not the stock is not there this year. I'm just saying.
I'm not asking you to do anything like Shannon Sharp or Tony Gonzalez. Just fill the void. Get out here and do this on this play at this particular time in this offensive situation with that defensive set. Get out here and do your job.
Before I waste a third,
I need people that are football smart at the tight end position. A highly IQ qualified tight end.
Before I waste a third or fourth round pick on that guy who played that in college, I'm converting an offensive lineman that's pretty athletic. That's how bad I feel
about it. Take a third or fourth round pick on offensive lineman with tight end?
No. I'm saying I would convert somebody else on the street before I would waste a pick. I am not sold on any of the tight ends in this draft. That's it.
I don't believe in this year's NBA draft. I don't believe in this year's NFL draft. I see buildable talent. I'm not knocking nobody that's in the draft, but it's buildable talent. It's something let me show you this and show you that. Add that to you, and here's what I'm going to get. It's that type of draft.
There's plenty of talent on both sides of the ball, and I mean a lot of it. It's a very deep draft, especially when you get into running back, linebacker, cornerback, and those types of things. Again, I just don't see the tight end. The tight end pool is as shallow as I've ever seen it.
But who's your ready come in right now? I can help this team. I can show you the team's going to get over the hump, and it's going to be because of this guy. Who's your impactful player in the draft?
What side of the ball?
You tell me.
I told
What
you,
do you
Chase Young.
Chase Young. That's the
I'm
impactful
telling
player,
you,
you think?
he's generational, and if I'm stamping somebody to go to Canton, it's Chase Young, period. So if you want to take him out of the equation, then, you know, there's a couple guys that I really like.
And where do you have him going?
He's going second, unless something crazy happens. I got him going to Washington. That's why I think Washington stands the best of effort, because they can get at the end of this draft. They have the best player in the draft, and then they can, if they want to, they can go sign Jameis or Cam, and, you know, now they're in business. In a very weak NFC.
I think Jameis and Cam are waiting on what happens.
I'm sorry?
After the draft. I think Jameis and Cam are waiting to see what happens after the
I
draft.
don't think either one of them has a choice. I think that no one's going to pay them $25 million a year, and they don't want to sign for $4 million a year, and so they're waiting. You know, I highly doubt either one of them gets signed till training camp.
I will put it this way: don't hire me to DJ a party if I don't know nobody coming. You can give out no flyers. So with these two guys, I think their agent and knowing their talent, I don't give a damn what happened in the past. They want to see what they're getting themselves into. There are a lot of teams out there that need a quarterback, that want a quarterback,
well,
that desire a quarterback.
Let's face it. There are 3 quarterbacks everybody wants in this draft. Well, there's 4 or 5 teams that need a quarterback. And so there's going to be 1 or 2 teams that miss out on those 3 guys that we've talked about already. And so that will be where those dominoes fall. Is, let's just say somebody jumps in front of the Chargers and takes a quarterback, right?
It's going to be shots fired.